Okay. Before we do anything for today, I want to make sure that you guys, kind of have an idea where we're at, what's going on. In the resources folder, I do have a calendar for the whole trimester for you guys, but I don't know how often you look at that or even if you ever have. 3.5 is going to be the end of chapter 3. So what that means for us is we're going to have the chapter 2 and 3 test, because it's a combined test, coming up. So we'll be done with chapter 3 today. Tomorrow, our plan is going to be to do the review. And then instead of doing the test on Monday, which would be normal, we're doing it like we did last time, where we're going to take the test on Tuesday. So then that way it kind of gives you guys an extra day to get help if you want to get help on anything, whatever it is. So we're done with chapter 3 today. We're taking the test Tuesday. And, I'll emphasize again, we usually have time in class where you guys can ask questions or get help on anything. And then I usually have like the open office hours, which is basically 45 minutes right after our class is done. Which is kind of odd to me because like when you're at school and you have to get home, it takes up a lot of that office hour time. So I'm not sure why they scheduled it right after, but whatever. So let's start the 3.5. Let's go with Kira. Kira, we're going to start with you. Are you ready? This is a difficult question. Wait, Kira, does your mic work? Awesome. Okay, difficult question. What color should we go with for our theme today? Pink? All right, good choice. Good choice. So 3.5. 3.5 is still on inequalities. It's just basically more complicated inequalities. So, I'm just going to title it Solving Inequalities because it's the same as what we've been doing for the last 3-4 sections. They're just getting a little bit harder each time. And honestly, we probably could have gone through this faster because I think a lot of you get it. But I also know that there's some people who need some help on it, so that's part of the reason why we're not flying through it. So let's do a first example here. X is less than 3x plus 8. Okay, good start. Kira, can you pick the next person who's going to help us now that we've got our color down? Oh, do you know how to put the list of names up? So if you click on the little people icon. Sounds good. Yeah, Jack. Jack can go. Nicely done. All right, Jack. So what is the issue with trying to solve this one? Why is this one considered a little bit harder? Or is it easier for me just to ask you how to solve it? Like, is it easier for you to explain to me how to do it? Okay, then do that. Oh, all right. How come we're doing that? How come we're doing that? There's nothing wrong with it. I was just wondering why you chose that. Okay. Okay. Well, then what would you do next after that? Okay, no, that's all right. So the first step that you picked was actually okay, and you're kind of right on the backwards PEMDAS, but the hard part is the way the equation is set up. PEMDAS doesn't always fit it perfect because there's still an addition over here, and like we would just keep doing that forever otherwise. The goal when we're done is we want it to say x is less than or greater than some number. So what you need to do first is you need to figure out which side of the equation or inequality that you want the letters to be focused on and which side you want the numbers to be focused on. Now, by you subtracting 8 to start with, you kind of chose, oh God, that was a terrible array. You kind of chose the right-hand side to be letters and the left-hand side to be numbers. And that's okay. It doesn't matter which side's which. So what you're trying to do now is you want to cancel off anything on the left that is not a plain number. So how would I get rid of this x? Or do you want somebody else to go? Okay, so you would divide it if it was being multiplied. So right now this x isn't being multiplied on anything. It's kind of being added and subtracted. So we're going to subtract it because x minus x would cancel out, like it would be gone. And I forgot to do that up there. So then this would say negative 8 is less than 2x. Okay, Jack, who should help us go next? Garrett? Okay, Garrett, do you have some expert advice on how to finish this? Okay, good. And then the whole reason you're doing that is to get the x all by itself. Garrett, I guess the final question is, are we supposed to flip the inequality symbol? Okay, how come we're supposed to? Oh, actually, I think you might be answering something different than what I asked, now that I mentioned. So yesterday we kind of specifically talked about this inequality symbol flips if you divide both sides by a negative. And in this case, we didn't. I think what you were kind of answering is a lot of times you want to write the x on the left, which you would flip it in that case. And the only reason you want the letter on the left is for graphing it. So, Garrett, do you remember how to graph this? Okay, perfect. How about the circle? Is it like open or filled in? Excellent. So we're going to shade to the right just because this points to the right. And then you're correct. Like if I want to put some more numbers up here to give perspective. Good. Good. Okay. I'm going to keep going on with the examples. Normally I have you guys try some, but a lot of the questions in this section are similar. So I'll go on to the next style question. Down here. So this is actually going to be example 3. Okay. Let's see, Garrett, can you pick somebody to help us out with this one? Oh, what the heck? Caleb. All right, Caleb, any kind of advice for me? How do I, what should I do? Okay, good. You're going to multiply this 6 out, just basically trying to simplify the problem. Yeah, very good. So 6 minus 6x is less than 3x. So we usually want to simplify first if we need to, so that we can kind of identify which side should be, letters and which side should be numbers. Do you have a preference, Caleb? How come I want to make the letters on the right-hand side on this problem? Like, why is it easier? Say what? It's going to be easier because we'd be done in one step. Because if we add 6x to cancel off the letters, then we're kind of already done. If I decided to go the other way, I would actually have to do like 3 steps. And both ways are correct. So like, it doesn't actually matter which side you pick. A lot of times one way is going to be quicker than the other, but it doesn't actually matter. And then, so Caleb, what do we do last? Perfect. And then this would say x is greater than 6/9, which reduces down to 2/3. Or if you want to write it as a decimal, it would be like the 0.6 repeating. Okay, nice. And I think you guys are probably really good at making those graphs by now, so I don't know if we need to do it every time. Let me put one up for you guys to try on your own. See if it's going okay. Let me come up with one that works. And I'll leave this one above it so you guys have one to compare to. Let's see if you guys can find the answer to this one. There we go. Let's see, who haven't we called on so far? We haven't called on Sophia or Olivia or Logan or Cullen. Okay. Oh, we got a lot of people left. Somehow the whole middle of the name rack has been called on. Caleb, let's pick somebody that hasn't been called on so far. Can you choose somebody for me? Alexandra, Caroline, Cullen, Logan, Olivia, and Sophia. Alexandra, all right. Top of the alphabetical order. Alexandra, did you need some more time to work on it, or do you think you could tell me kind of how to start this? Sure, I'll wait then. That's not a problem. And Sophia, I feel like I've asked you this a bunch of times. Do you go by Sophie or Sophia? Sophie, okay. I'm going to try to remember that. I guess I should ask Alexandra that too. Do you go by Alex? All right. That's part of it. Oh, go ahead. Nicely done. Do you want somebody to go do the rest of it? Or do you want to keep going? It's up to you. Okay. Then that is up to you who's going to do it. Logan. Logan, do you have how did you want to keep going from here? Okay. So you're kind of choosing numbers to be on the left, which is totally good. And then that kind of forces your next move to be okay, perfect. So you have to add 5r to both sides. And that cancels the minus 5r. And then last, perfect. Okay, nice job. I mean, you guys are doing good so far, it sounds like. I kind of thought this section might go well because it's an awful lot like what we did in Chapter 2 with regular equations. These have arrows instead of equal signs. Does anybody have any kind of questions at all so far? Okay. So then we're going to get to the next kind of questions, which are going to feel the same, except that you're going to realize that we get stuck. Let's see, Caroline. We've been doing really well with pink so far. Let's choose the next color. Do you have a favorite color you like to use? Blue. All right, that's a good choice. So we've got blue. And I'm going to write, this one's not intended to be difficult. To start with, it's intended to show you what can happen. Okay, Caroline, I know you did the difficult choice of color. Do you want to answer this question, or do you want somebody else to go? Okay, so you basically have a choice of Olivia or Sophie. Okay, Olivia. Olivia, what should I do to solve this? We would subtract. So you basically have to pick one of them to cancel. I mean, it doesn't matter which one. But you would subtract it from both sides because there's one on each side. And when you do that, like, it feels like we did something wrong. We no longer have a variable left. And so you probably haven't run into questions like this. Because in Algebra 1, we're in Algebra 1. In pre-algebra, you probably didn't have questions like this. Does anybody know how we should answer this? Or maybe I'll give you the answer and you could tell me how come. Oh, you can go ahead. Yeah, do you know why? Oh, no, that's decent reasoning, but no. So, Caleb, are you trying to answer? Okay. So, I guess when you get to this end, what you want to do is you want to decide if this is true or not. So basically, is 5 greater than or equal to 3? And you say yes. Yeah, so it's true. So this means no matter what number I put in place of x. So let's say I put 4 in place of x. 4 plus 5 greater than or equal to 4 plus 3. Well, then that would just say 9 is greater than or equal to 7, which is true. No matter what number I put in place of x, this is always going to be true. So then all real numbers work. Normally we try to find like one number that works. But in this case, it's every single number works. So it is possible you're going to get questions like this where it feels like you did the problem wrong, but you did not. Like, that's what's supposed to happen. And then we're going to get the opposite of this, Um, okay, so 2 times x plus 3 is less than 5 plus 2x. And Sophie, can you tell me how to go about solving this? Ah, I did. Oh no, Sophie was right. Yep. Yeah, good. Good. What do I get when I do that? Perfect. Okay, perfect. And then? Okay. And when I do that, well, they're all gone. So I'm left with 6 is less than 5. And so then you look at this and basically ask yourself, is this true? Is 6 less than 5? No. So this is false. So because of that, no matter what number I put in place of x, this will never work. So there's no solutions. Because no matter what number I put in place of x, this will never actually work out. Okay, now yesterday I kind of purposely gave us more work because I'm trying to change our schedule up a little bit so that you guys aren't overloaded with work when we have our day off of school next Friday. So today actually is kind of light, like not very much to do. So this is it. I think, if I remember right, the homework is broken up into 3 parts, but each one of them goes by relatively quickly. So today you basically have a lot of time left. I wanted to reserve that to be able to help you guys with anything you need help with. And or I wanted you guys to have time to make up work that you might be missing. So if there's anything in the grade book that is marked as missing, you can still make that up and do it. You know, for whatever reason, if you've been gone or if you've, just hadn't had a chance to do some of the work. But we're basically already done with the section. Like there's nothing new today really, other than these, all real solutions, no solutions. The problems are just more complicated than what we had before. If you guys want to get a head start on the weekend, so tomorrow is actually a normal class day. It's not a flex Friday because we had Tuesday off. So tomorrow's a B day as well. So we have a full class hour, but if you want to get a head start on the weekend, you can certainly get started on the review as well, because that should already be up in Schoology, and basically kind of get prepped for the test on Tuesday. So you have time today to kind of work on whatever. I'm going to stay on here until 1:35 is I think when our class gets done. You guys have about 45 minutes to get everything done, which shouldn't be an issue. You should be done with everything before you leave. But then you have time to make up work if you need to, or I can help you with whatever. So I'll be on here. You guys don't necessarily need to stay on if you don't want, but I can certainly I'll be here for you guys to ask away.